This week we are creating a pattern landscape inspired by Karla Gerard. Now remember, she likes to use lots of different patterns and colors in her landscapes, so our pictures are going to be similar to hers, but not exact copies. We are doing a landscape, so our paper needs to be turned sideways so that the long sides of our paper are at the top and the bottom. First thing we're going to do is add our ground or our earth. Okay, so we're going to have a horizon line. And remember, does our horizon line have to go straight across? No. It could be kind of curved because our horizon line is where the sky and the ground meet. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is kind of add in my ground here, and I'm going to have several different sections so I can fill them up with patterns. Make kind of a wavy one. This one's going to be kind of wavy too. Then I'm going to have one that goes straight across like that. And then I think I'm going to have one that's down just a little bit and goes all the way across. I'm going to add one more to give a little bit of height. So maybe it's like a little bit of a hill. We're going to go right like that. So everything that is below this line on our paper right here, everything down, that's our earth, that's our ground, okay? Everything that's above that is going to be the sky. If something is sitting on the horizon line, that means it's part of the earth. It's sitting on the earth. If it is, even though it's like sticking up into the sky, we know that it's not floating in the sky. One of the main things that we see in some of Karla's work is that she adds houses. And they're not perfect houses, so we can be a little bit creative with it. I'm going to start over here and I'm going to draw a house. Start with the roof. And again, does not have to be perfect. Okay. And then I think I want another little building right here. I'm going to make it kind of small. There we go. Just really simple. I'm going to add 2 houses over here. So one, I think this is going to be kind of a short house, but maybe it's a little bit long. And then this one I'm going to make a lot taller. Maybe it's kind of like a 2-story. I'm trying to draw, but my paper keeps moving on me a little bit. It makes it kind of tricky. So I've got some houses in here now, and you can see that these are a little bit further away because they're a little higher on the horizon line. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add some details. I want these houses to have chimneys. So I'm going to add chimneys to them right now so that they could have like a fireplace and the smoke could escape. And then I'm going to add some trees or maybe even some bushes. So the first, I'm going to do a kind of a curly tree right here. She had some curly trees in some of her artwork. So I want to do something similar to her, but not copy her exactly. So I'm going to do, yep, and up and over just like that. Make it look like it's reaching over to cover this house. Now I'm going to add some little kind of round trees. And I want to draw the trunks of the trees first. Then I'm going to go back and fill in what the leaves and everything look like. I'm going to add a little bit to show that the trunk goes up and is covered by the leaves. This one is going to be behind, just like that. Then I think right here, maybe I want some little bushes by this house. And I'm going to, when I color that line will kind of go away. And I think I'm going to add some little bushes over here too, make them right there. Okay, so we still have some details that are missing from our houses. We need to add doors and windows. Now remember, you can do your doors and windows however you want. So I think some of mine are going to be different. I think I'm going to make this one look a little bit like this. Okay, and then I'm going to add some windows to the side here. This house likes lots of light. Do some windows here, and I think I'm just going to add a door. And then over here, I'm going to have a door right here, and I'm going to have a door here. So maybe these houses are attached. Maybe this is in the backyard. I don't know. We'll have to see, right? And I'm going to give it some oval windows, just because I think that looks cool. And then I could color them in a pattern. One thing that we need to make sure is that we divide up both our ground so we can add our patterns in, and we need to divide up our sky. So I'm going to add some lines to kind of make some sections. I'm going to do this house together, just like that. This house by itself. See, I think I'm going to go straight out with that one. And then kind of like that. So when we start adding in patterns for our houses and our sky, you can decide whatever you want. I'm going to add the moon, and then I'm going to draw some stars in here. And over here, I want to have the sun. Just like this. Now, normally, do we see the moon and the sun at the same time in the sky? Not usually. But remember, we've divided up our sections so we can have different things in our sky at the same time. This is also abstract art, so it doesn't have to be completely realistic. It can be a little bit silly. Over here in this space, I think I'm going to add a bird. Remember, Karla liked to use birds and cats and all kinds of animals that she sees at her house in Maine. So I'm going to add a bird up in the sky. Okay, I'm going to give it a little bit of thickness there so it looks like a bird and not just like the letter M. So once I get ready to start coloring my sky, I could color these sections in patterns, or I could just color them normally, because we're going to add lots of patterns down here to look at. These are really big spaces to fill in with just one pattern, so I'm going to break some of them up into smaller sections. I'm going to do some zigzags. I think I'm going to do some kind of diagonal lines here. Do some curvy lines. Now, I think you'll agree with me that these are much smaller sections to fill in with patterns. I'm going to leave this one a little bit big because I have an idea for this, and I'm going to leave it a little bit bigger. So I'm going to start filling in some patterns. I'm going to use some like different size circles and do polka dots. They don't have to be all big. They can be some big, some medium, some small. Okay. That one's kind of hanging off the paper. And then I think right here, I think I'm just going to do some stripes. Just like that. And then here, I think I might do some waves. I might even color it blue to make it look like maybe some water. Okay, and then I think this section, I'm going to follow that curve and do some more lines. Maybe I could color this one rainbow since it's curved. Just like that. And then here, I think I'm going to do some kind of sideways boxes. They don't have to be perfect. Remember, her artwork is a little bit off. It's not perfect. That's what abstract art is. It can be a little bit not perfect. It can be a little bit silly. Okay? And then I think here I'm just going to draw some circles on the paper. Not really dots, not really polka dots, but just some circles to fill in the space. And I could color these any way I want. Okay, so I'm going to leave this right like this, and I'm going to have you go back to your video, I'm going to leave this, and you're going to go with your picture and start filling in your patterns. You can use any patterns that you want. Finish adding any details, fill in your patterns, color it neatly, and then you're going to share it with me. I'm excited to see what you create.